Hello everyone, Colin Connett here for WoodWorkWeb. And I've had a few requests over the last couple of months or so on reciprocating saws, and they're not typically a woodworking tool. They're more of a reno tool, but I do use them in woodworking from time to time, and I thought now's a good time to talk about reciprocating saws and the blades they use. So if you're not familiar with reciprocating saws, this is what they generally look like. This is a 18-volt cordless. Of course, a lot of reciprocating saws come corded as well. I just prefer cordless. This is another version that I have. This is a 12 volt, and what I can tell you, I purchased this quite a while ago, and you can see it looks almost brand new. That's because it doesn't get very much use. And what I can tell you about that, when it comes to reciprocating saws, bigger is better. This little saw I purchased for some specific use, and to be honest, it really just doesn't do the job. It just doesn't have enough power for most of the things that I need to do. Reciprocating saw blades come in a variety of lengths. The good thing is that they all have a standard way of attaching, and let me show you that. The way all reciprocating saw blades install is they go into a slot like that, and when you put them in, some of them will actually click in, but most of them need some sort of a twist. So you give it a twist, and the blade will slide right in. And when it does that, it locks in there, and it locks tight. Now, the nice thing with these collets, on most saws, you can put the blade in one way or the other. You can put it in sort of upside down, if you will, and that's because there's different configurations that you might want to use the blade upside down or rather than right side up. And then once you've installed the blade, that's the time to put the battery in. It can be a little bit confusing looking for reciprocating blades because there's so many different ones. First of all, they come in a variety of lengths, usually from about 4 inches up to 12. I don't have a 12-inch here, but they will come that large. In terms of what you're cutting, they're basically in two categories. There's wood, which is on this side, and metal, which is on this side. In all of these blades, you'll have a price point and a performance point where you will have good, better, best. This top blade is a pruning blade. It's a special purpose. I'm just going to take it out of the mix for right now. At the very bottom are economical steel blades. They will do short-term work for you and they'll work fine. In the middle, we have bimetal blades. Bimetal blades means the body of the blade is one metal, the teeth are another metal, and they're harder, and they will last a little bit longer. And at the very top, we have carbide-tipped teeth, and they will last much, much longer than this. They're more expensive, but they will save you multiple trips to the hardware store buying either one of these. So, for pure wood, you would pick that one. If you're cutting through a few nails or screws, that one will work fine. If you're doing a lot of work cutting through wood and cutting through a lot of nails in that wood, this one is your most economical, even though it's the most expensive. Same thing on the metal. If you're just cutting a little bit of metal, not too much, that's the most economical. If you're cutting more metal, you're cutting, quite a bit more, a bimetal blade will give you more production. And if you're cutting a lot of metal and you're cutting things like stainless steel, which is very, very hard, carbide tipped is the most expensive, but it's also the most economical to use. Of course, eye protection and hearing protection as usual. The first one I'm going to cut through is just wood, and I'm using the bimetal, just a little bit better quality blade for this. Now I'm going to step up the game a little bit. I wanted to show you this. This is just an ordinary house construction steel nail. I'm going to be using masonry nails, and you can tell them because they have fluted sides, and I'm going to be cutting through those, only this time I'm going to be using a carbide tipped blade. Now I've moved over to a 3/8 inch piece of reinforcing bar that I have laying around, and this time I'm going to be using the metal cutting and the carbide tipped one. What I can tell you is this blade will go through this many times. I'm only going to do one so you can see how quickly it goes through this. Now, I want to tell you what I really like about this blade and cutting metal. I do cut metal in my workshop from time to time, and some time ago, until I discovered this blade, I used to use a grinder. And of course, a grinder when you're a YouTuber is great because it makes lots of sparks and it looks exciting. But it's also dangerous because every time I used the grinder, I would hang around in my shop after for at least half an hour because I was always afraid that there might be a spark getting somewhere. And if you watch this video, you'll notice that there was little or no sparks when you use this. So it's a much quicker and much safer way of cutting metal in your woodworking shop. The next thing I'm going to attempt, this is totally bizarre, but I'm going to cut this drill in half with this blade, which as you can tell is already well used. You know what's happening? The arbor in there is spinning. I'm just going to try attacking it from a different angle. That's what that blade can do. Well, I had fun today, and I hope I answered many of your questions. And of course, details of the video will be on the website, and the description box below will have the link. Thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, click the notification bell, and keep on watching because I got more great videos to come.